It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon Axamit.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Now today we have the pleasure of hearing from Hugh Reilly, who is the director of UNO's School of Communication. And today's question has to do with how the current landscape has impacted the local newspaper business. So Hugh, today's question is, why have local newspapers been hit so hard with layoffs?
Question, Brandon. I appreciate the opportunity to try to answer it for you. My name is Hugh Reilly, and I am the director of the UNO School of Communication. I've been in academia for 20 years, but prior to that, I worked in industry for another 25 years. I worked in radio and television, a couple of newspapers, worked as an advertising copywriter. So this question is near and dear to my heart. I think this is something that's been coming on for decades. This is not an overnight thing. What's happened is several factors have influenced this. One is the rise of social media and podcasts and other types of electronic news. All of this has reduced the number of subscribers for daily newspapers dramatically. If you talk to my students nowadays, very few of them are daily subscribers. So as their parents and grandparents pass away, for lack of a better term, these subscribers are not being replaced by these newer, younger subscribers. And all of this results in a reduction in circulation, which of course then makes the newspapers much less attractive to advertisers because they simply don't have the numbers that they once had. So this decline in subscribers, as well as just a whole array of new choices, new media choices that advertisers have available to them, reduces the power of the newspapers. And one of the primary ways they can cut costs is by laying off their employees. In addition, you've got newspapers are now often run by these big chains, like the World Herald was bought by Lee Enterprises. And you went from a traditional journalists who were running these newspapers to basically businessmen whose bottom line is profit. Where before, I think there was this almost a professional obligation on the part of the owners of the newspapers to make sure that all the facts got out there and all that sort of thing. That simply does not exist to the same extent anymore. So all of this lethal combination of lower subscription rates and all these new advertisers out there has just simply reduced the power of newspapers. And unless a new business model emerges, it's unlikely that newspapers will ever regain their prominent place in society. I'd be happy to answer any other questions. If you elucidate on this a little bit more, you can contact me at unomaha.edu. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh, for sharing your expertise on this topic. For our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. If you have a question you want answered, go to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the Access the Experts link to submit your question. I'm Brandon Axamit. We'll see you next time on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:46.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website. Then join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. while we answer your questions.